immediately. Please, if you can hear me, just feel free to drop any comment in the chat box so that I'll be sure that close to 100, over 100 people that we have on the call, that we all can hear me loud and clear, because we're about to jump into the discussion for today. Fantastic. I can see a couple of comments from Olabanji, Busayo, and others. Fantastic. Please, if you can't hear me, feel free to leave the session and then join back. Okay. So we're going to have a fantastic discussion today that is bordered around selecting the right job with high demand from recruiters in UK, US, and of course, Canada. And if you are joining us from any other country that is different from any of these three, don't fret, okay? Don't fear. Why we always use UK, US, and Canada is because most of them are developed countries, and other countries that we are in, we are also trying to also be like some of those countries. Okay, so before we jump into our discussion today, I'll first of all love to know you and where you are joining us from. All right, so feel free to type in your name and the location of where you are joining us from so that I can be able to know the demography of people that I have on the call for today's conversation. Okay, so let's do that quickly so that we can jump into this discussion as fast as possible. All right, fantastic. I can see Edgemen from Canada. I can see Yemi from UK, Busaya from Canada, Lillian from El Paso. Can also see, there's a lot of comments, so it's already throwing me off. Kenneth from Canada, Dami from UK, Matthew UK, Kwaku from Russia, fantastic. Neil from UK, Omovio from UK, and then a couple of people dropping UK, and then Canada also. Okay, we are all welcome to today's discussion. Now, this is part of the beauty of tech, all right? You can join, can work from any place across the world. You can clearly see we have people from Nigeria, we have people from UK, we have people from Canada, we have people from US, and also we have someone from Russia as well. Okay, we also have Daledem from Ghana. Okay, we have Duchess from Ireland. We'll have, I'm picking a different country this time around, and every other person that have dropped where they're joining from, fantastic. I can see everything that we have also dropped. Okay, now I also want to know if today is the first time that you are joining any of our sessions. Please permit me for a few minutes. All right, Bright, that's fine. Okay, please, if today is the first time that you are joining any of our sessions, please feel free to type in a 1. But if you've been in any of our sessions before now, type in any number as your soul pleases you. Okay, I can see a lot of ones in the comment section. Fantastic. So, please make sure that you fill the attendance form. I have a goodie. I have bags of goodies for everyone that ensures that they fill the attendance form. So with the attendance form, we're able to send you the slide of this discussion and also the recorded version of everything that we are going to be discussing this afternoon. Okay, so once my colleagues drop the attendance form, let's ensure that we fill that attendance form, because that's what we are going to be using to send the recorded version of this discussion to everyone, and also the slide that we are using. Trust me, I have fantastic package for each and every one of you. All right, and before we jump right into the discussion, if you know anyone, your friend, your family member, even your enemy that you know is going to benefit from what we are going to be discussing here this afternoon, please feel free to share the link to this session with them so that they can immediately join us as we are about to start off the discussion. Okay, so like I said, what we are going to be looking at today is around selecting the right job with high demand from recruiters in UK, US, and of course, Canada. And who exactly is organizing this amazing event? All right, so we are Analytics, and we are the leading educational technology company that is helping people to break from where they are currently at into the tech sector. And we've been doing this for close to 5 years, where we've helped close to 3,000 individuals move from our classroom into landing their first tech jobs. And that includes in the US, in UK, Canada, Europe, Africa, and of course, Asia. And we have only 8 programs that we offer. And within the course of this discussion, I'm going to walk us through why we only offer those 8 courses. And that includes data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project manager, that's the Scrum Master, and also cyber security. And how we make sure to help people to move from our classroom into landing their first role is by using experts, bringing back professionals back to our classroom to teach using project-based model, right? So it's not like your regular classroom where you come into the class and you are learning using theoretical model, no. So you're coming into the class to learn from the experience of those experts that are back in the classroom to teach you. So you are killing two birds with one stone. You are learning and you are also working on real life projects. And that's the easiest way that you can be able to move from where you are right now into breaking into the tech sector. And who am I that I've been speaking for the last couple of 5 minutes? My name is Chukwemeka Ekpa, and I'm the CEO of Tenalytics. So for the last 10 years, I've worked as a GRC professional, that's governance, risk, and compliance, and also in strategic consulting. So with my portfolio here in Tenalytics, I've helped close to 2,000 individuals, that's 1,280, to move specifically from our classroom into securing their first jobs. My experience spans across GRC, like I've mentioned, governance, risk, and compliance in the banking sector, head of control in a fintech company also, and also a data analytics innovator in a fintech company, as well as a business growth consultant in the hospitality space. I've worked in the financial service sector, I've worked in the capital markets, I've worked in the hospitality space, and also right now, I'm in the educational technology company. Okay, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn at Chukwemeka Ekpa, or Twitter at Emeka_Heist, or Instagram at Ekpa_Chooks. And we're going to also, continue our discussion and be able to help you move from where you are right now into the tech space that you want to be in. So what exactly are we going to be doing today? So first thing we are going to be handling is we are going to first of all touch base with all the in-demand career paths that will land you a job the fastest. So number one thing we are going to be doing today is talk about all the in-demand career paths that will land you a job the fastest. Now, I always try to walk people through there are jobs there are career paths that are also in demand, but can you get into them as fast as you want to be able to? All right. Recently, we all know what our sister Kemi, the new proposal that she came up with, and it means that we all have a race against time. Okay, so today walk you through those in-demand career paths and the one that will also give you the fastest curve to breaking into this tech space. Then we'll also talk to you about how you can easily get started immediately for April and also May, right? And of course, walk you through some of the success stories, people that have been able to do this exact thing before you and how they currently thrive right now in the tech ecosystem. And finally, we'll have amazing special discounts for you by virtue of you being in this session this afternoon. So clearly, if you see my screen, you can see where I just underlined IWD. So quickly, I just want to say Happy International Women's Day to all the women in the house. We are proud of everything that you all have achieved. Okay, and that said, the team, like we all know, is simply Accelerate Action. All right, and part of what we are also going to do this March is to help as much women as we can to be able to break into the tech space. All right, so make sure you stay on this call because we have an amazing discount for everyone, including the women and of course the men that support the women. So because you're a man, don't feel like we are going to be left behind. All right, so this is for everyone. All right, there is an amazing discount for you because of we are celebrating women, and that means you can easily now be able to get into the tech space. All right, so my colleague Elijah does drop the attendance form, like I mentioned earlier. Please make sure you fill the attendance form because that is what you are going to be using to get the slide that we're using for this discussion, as well as also get the recorded version of this conversation so that you can easily be able to go through everything that we're talking about if you drop off at any point or if you have a network glitch at any point. So we're going to dive right into our discussion. Are we ready to go? If you're ready, please just drop in any comments so that I'll be sure that we are ready to start up this conversation instantly. And we're going to, run as fast as we can. Are you ready? If you, okay, fantastic, Titilope, fantastic, Duchess and Edgerman. Fantastic, I can see a couple of people are ready for us to start our discussion. Okay, so first thing I want all of us to know for this discussion we're about to make now, you're about to select a career path, okay? But there are a couple of do nots that I want you to have at the back of your mind while you are trying to make your decision, okay? And number one do not that I want you to know today is do not focus solely on income, all right? So do not focus solely on income. Now, one major thing I've come to realize in this tech space is that everyone always wants, oh, which one is the highest? Which one is paying the highest? All right, the one that pays the highest income, that is where I want to be. Okay, but I want all of us to make sure that we understand this today. Do not focus solely on income, right? This is one of the major mistakes that we all make. I had someone that joined one of our programs, it should be in January. And clearly he came to us and said, oh, I want to do cybersecurity. I want to be a cybersecurity analyst. And we've seen this person's initial experience, where he was coming from, his technical ability, and it was obvious that he can't thrive in this space. Now, this is not to say that we are going to write people off, right? But one thing that we always try to make people understand is that the easiest way to transition to the tech space is transition to a career path that has transferable skills from where you are coming from. Okay, for instance, you used to be a teacher, right? You used to be a teacher that teaches maybe any level of education, right? And as a teacher, you've had instances where you interacted with several layers of individuals. Your students, you've interacted with your students, you've interacted with your colleagues, and it was, of course, interacted with the parents. Now, clearly, this can be seen that you've done what we call stakeholder analysis. Because by virtue of you not knowing, you've interacted with several stakeholders, which, if you decide to harness this skill and break into business analysis, is going to be easier for you. But let's assume a teacher that used to teach, let's say, English or any of the languages out there, now decide, oh, I want to become a cybersecurity expert. And there is no transferable skill, there is no ease, there is no experience that the person have had before now. Clearly, there is going to be struggle. So first thing we'll try to make sure that everyone understands is make sure you are moving to a tech career path that you have transferable skills from where you are coming from, which means do not focus solely on income. All right. That said, number two is also do not pursue hot or trending careers without considering long-term relevance or compatibility. All right. Just like I mentioned about income as well, there are people that will also mention, oh, I want to get into cybersecurity. I want to be a data engineer. I want to be a DevOps guy because, I mean, that's the trending thing in town as of now. But even though it's trending, do you have those paths? Do you have the skill to be able to, find your feet there? So what I always try to make sure that you understand is do not pursue hot or trending career paths. Make sure you find the one that is for you. And the way to find the one that is meant for you is by, first of all, having an understanding of what all the roles entails. Okay? So it is important that you have the understanding of what a role entails. For instance, I studied civil engineering, and what I've also realized in this tech space is that most people that studied engineering, once they want to transition to tech, they'll be looking for a career path that has engineer at the end of it, because they still want to answer, oh, the engineer that they are. They want to, oh, engineer. So they're looking towards moving towards software engineer or moving towards data engineer. But that career path you're trying to get into is not just about the name. So you need to be able to understand what each of those roles entail for you to be able to make your decision. Then number 4 is simply impatience, okay? Someone will come to you and mention, oh, I used to be an agile person. I've had experience with cybersecurity. I've done data science. I've done this. Is there a way you can be able to model everything up together and give me so that I'll take it up once? Now, this is also one major mistake that you and I can make if you're looking to break into the tech sector, right? Impatience. So we always advise people, choose one career path. Very, very important. Niche down and select the one that speaks fully to you, and then continuously learn from there. When I transitioned, I started from data analytics to business analysis to GRC and a couple of other things. But it is not something that was grabbed just once. And that is one major setback I've seen in so many people. Oh, today you're a data analyst. You've not worked as a data analyst. You've not gotten any experience. And next thing you're saying, oh, that you're not a data engineer, or you're not moving towards cybersecurity. So patience is important in tech. And number 5, which is very, very crucial. Number 5, very, very crucial, having unrealistic expectation. All right. So because we all believe, we all know that there is money in tech. But is this something that sometimes when you jump into right now, you're going to start earning $200,000 per annum? All right. So most time it's not easily like that. So you need to also be able to have that expectation that there are going to be learning stages for yourself. All right. You are going to start earning from 30, 40,000 pounds per annum. Gradually you grow it towards where you want to be. Right? But if you are instantly looking, oh, I want that one that is going to give me 150,000 pounds per annum, then that means your expectation is something that needs to be looked at. Okay, so before we dive right into selecting different career paths, I want you to understand all these 5 do nots. Number 1 is do not focus solely on income. Then also don't pursue hot or trending career path. Then make sure you have understanding of what the role entails, and also be patient and have a realistic expectation. I hope we are all still listening to what I am saying. Are we still listening to what I am saying? All right, okay. All right, please, any reason, fantastic. I'm going to easily be able to explain that in the next few minutes also. Okay, so we're going to move on. Next one is, what are those different career paths that you need to focus to break into the job market the fastest? All right, what's those different career paths that you can easily be able to focus to break into the job market the fastest? So what we always do at the beginning or at the end of every year is to scrape different job boards. All right, we scrape different job boards for us to find what are those highest jobs that have been posted. What are those, for instance, you move to LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs. What's the number of jobs that had the highest post for that year? Okay, so we've scraped all these job boards and then we analyze them using 3 basic metrics. Okay, and number 1 is ease of learning. All right, ease of learning. Number 2 is ease of transitioning. So when we talk about ease of learning, we are talking about which one is going to give you that ease of breaking into that career path. Okay, when we talk about ease of learning, we're talking about which one will give you the ease of breaking into that career path. For instance, like I mentioned earlier, you used to be a teacher and you're looking to come into the tech space. Which career path are you easily going to learn to help you to get into the sector that you're looking to get into? Then also ease of transitioning is also very, very important. You want to transition to the space. Which of those tech skills is going to give you the transferable skills that you already have? Like I also mentioned, you used to be a teacher and you're looking to break into the tech space. Which of those career paths is going to give you that ease of having the transferable skills from what you used to do? And most importantly, like we all know, high rewarding salary. All right, like we all know, high rewarding salary. I know all of us want to transition because we want more money. So which one is going to offer us high rewarding salary? All right, so after we've looked at all these different transferable skills, we're able to come up with these 8 different career paths. All right, and number 1 is business analysis. All right, business analysis. Number 2 is agile project management. All right, agile project management. Then number 3, we have data analytics. All right, we have data analytics. Then we also have data science. All right, and of course, data engineers, cybersecurity, and also financial analysts and HR analysts. So I hope we're able to get everything I said right now. Okay, we have all these 8 different career paths that you are going to have that fastest possibility of getting into the tech space with. All right, you have that fastest possibility of getting into this tech space with them. Number 1 is business analysis. Number 2 is agile project management. Number 3 is data analytics. Number 4, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, and financial analytics and HR analysts. Now, after we've gotten all these different 8 career paths, we need to also validate that these career paths are also going to be relevant in the next coming years. Okay, so we sought for external validation. Okay, we sought for external validation. We need to be sure that in the next coming years, these career paths are going to be relevant. So we looked at what we call the World Economic Forum report. I hope we are still with me till this very moment. If you are still with me before I jump right into this segment, please make sure, like, okay, fantastic, Busayo and Mbappe. Okay, fantastic. We have to look at the World Economic Forum report for us to be able to be sure that all these 8 career paths that we've seen are going to be relevant in the next coming years. Okay, now, what the World Economic Forum report said is very, very interesting. What it said is that in the next 5 years, by 2030, right, in the next 5 years, by 2030, there are different jobs that are going to be created, and there are ones that are going to be destroyed. So 170 million jobs are going to be created. And then out of these 170 million jobs, 92 million will disappear. All right, so what this is trying to also let us see is simple. So let's look at this graphical illustration that we have on my screen. If you look at the red dots represents all the career paths that are going to decline. All right, so this red dot, each box represents 1 million. All right, now in the green side, we'll have new jobs that are also going to be created. Okay, now this blue space, that is where we'll have the ones that are going to just remain as they are. All right, so clearly we are seeing a new trend of something that is about to happen. Remember, 170 million new jobs are going to be created. Out of these 170 million new jobs, we also have 92 million that is also going to disappear. Now, after we've looked at this, we need to be sure that in the next coming years, all those 8 career paths that we've identified are part of the jobs that will constantly grow in the next years that we are looking at. Okay, so let's look at all those fastest growing jobs. Okay, so when you look at the fastest growing jobs, you can easily see number 1 fastest growing job that we have there, and that is your big data specialist. All right, so you can see the number 1 fastest growing job is big data specialist. And when we talk about the big data specialist, it also, accommodates your data engineers as well as your data analysts and your data scientists. All right, so clearly you can see that data science, data analysis, and data engineering are part of the jobs that is going to remain in the next couple of years, which means it has passed our test of which one are going to be in demand. All right, so we now move on to the next one. You can also see AI and machine learning specialists. And of course, if you look down, you are going to see your data analysts and data scientists again. All right, and what this translates to is it is also part of the fastest growing jobs out there. All right, so data analytics and data science are part of the fastest growing jobs out there. Now, if you scroll down, you have your cybersecurity professionals. Now, we'll talk about cybersecurity. You can now easily see number 1, your security management specialist, and then you can also see your Internet of Things specialist, as well as your information security analyst. Now, clearly, this also means that cybersecurity professionals are also going to be in demand in the next coming years. All right, so clearly, you see that all those career paths that we identified are constantly going to be in demand in the next coming years. And that's not all, right? That's not all. So this is now the full report that shows everything that we are talking about, okay? All right, this is now the full report that shows everything that we are talking about. You can now see all those jobs that will grow. Okay, so all the jobs that we have on this left-hand side are going to constantly grow in the next coming years. All right, while all the ones that we have on this right-hand side are going to decline in the next coming years. Okay, all the ones we have on the left is going to grow, while all the ones that we have on the right are going to decline. So what you and I need to do is to make sure that we move from this right-hand side to the left-hand side. Okay, so if what you are currently doing is on this side, make sure that you move towards the left-hand side. Okay, are we following to this moment? Are we following? Are we following? All right, fantastic. Now, if you also look at all these jobs that we have on the left-hand side that are going to grow, okay? If you look at all the jobs that we have on the left-hand side that was going to grow, it is not all of them that we selected to offer. Remember, we are looking at the one that is going to give you the fastest possibility of breaking into this space. All right, we are looking at the one that will give you the fastest possibility of breaking into this space. So let's look at these guys between this space. You have your DevOps engineer, have your renewable energy engineers, you have your robotics engineer, and of course, you have your blockchain developers. Now, clearly, these four different career paths, right? These four different career paths are amongst the fastest growing jobs, okay? But remember, we used 3 basic metrics to identify the courses that we are going to be doing, all right? And number 1, clearly that we use, remember the first thing that we use, ease of learning, all right? Ease of learning. And number 2, ease of transitioning. And then number 3, high rewarding salary. Now, when you look at these, the 4 that I've been able to select right now, do you think that with your normal background, you can easily become a robotics engineer? So this is a question for everyone. Do you think you can easily become a robotics engineer? Huh? I can see Nabweze, no. I can see Aye, no. Fantastic. Can see a couple of people commenting no. Now, that is what we mean when we say which career paths can you easily get into. Those 8 different career paths that you are going to also be able to enjoy the same 3 different things that I've mentioned: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and of course, high rewarding salary. Okay, so if you're looking to get into the tech space, you need to be able to start considering all these career paths that I've mentioned. Okay, you need to be able to start considering all these career paths that we just mentioned. Now, if you look at the right-hand side, let me not talk about the right-hand side on this side. So if you look at this right-hand side here, remember I said the one on the right-hand side represents jobs that are going to decline. Jobs that are going to decline. All right. And when you look at the last one that we have here, you can easily see number 1, the fastest declining job as of today is postal service clerks. Right? The fastest declining job that we have as of today is postal service clerks. So what this represents is simple. If you are a postal service clerk, you need to start making plans for you to move to a career path that is going to also enable you to have a lasting career. Then you can also see number 2, which is bank tellers and related clerks. All right, you can see number 2, which is bank tellers and related clerks. So what this means is that if you are a bank teller, you need to start making plans as well. Right? If you are a teller in a bank, you need to start making plans as right now. So all these different career paths that we have here are going to decline. So let's quickly run through some of the fastest declining career paths. You can see postal service clerks, bank tellers, data entry, cashiers, admin assistants, printing and trade workers, accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks. So basically, most things within that clerk space is going to decline. And why are clerks declining? Because of the advent of what we call your virtual assistants now, VA. There are a lot of VA everywhere. All right, you can be in UK and have a VA that is residing in a different country. So because of all these changes, clerk and all those related activities are now declining. All right, all those related activities are now declining. I hope we are still following. So when we are done with this session, once you get the slide, just click here to download the full report and you have access to everything that we are saying. You can click on it and see every single thing that we are talking about. Okay, so from there, you can now be able to make your informed decision. Okay, but remember, for you to have access to this slide, you need to fill the attendance form that my colleague Elijah is dropping in the comment section, right? You need to fill that attendance form for you to have access to it. Okay, so moving on, I hope we are also still listening. Remember what I mentioned earlier. There are only 3 basic metrics with which we were able to arrive at this. And that represents 1, ease of learning. Number 2, ease of transitioning. Number 3, high rewarding salary. So once you understand all this, almost all those tech career paths are going to give you high rewarding salary. But how many of them are going to give you that ease of transitioning? All right. And also that ease of learning. All right. So that is why it's important for you to be able to look at all these reports for you to be able to make your decision. Okay. It's important for you to look at all these reports for you to be able to make your decision. Okay. So moving on, let's look at other things that we have here. But before we move on, I don't know how many of us that have been able to identify the career path that we want to transition into. Okay, so out of these 8, how many of us have identified the ones that we want to transition into? Feel free to type it in the comment section. And if you've not identified yet, I'm still going to explain what 8 of them actually mean, what their role entails, so they can also be able to make an informed decision. All right, so let me see it. Just keep it coming. All right, fantastic. And I see a couple of comments dropping. Okay, I think data analysts are winning. Not data analysts, business analysis, cybersecurity, data analysis, data analytics, data analysis, fantastic. Okay, now if you've not been able to make any decision, please, we're also going to explain all of them. I just want to be sure to know if there are people that have been able to select a couple of where they want to transition through. Okay, so next thing I'm going to walk us through now is that you've seen the 8 fastest career paths that you can easily be able to break into. All right, and then one major mistake that we always make is sometimes we always feel, oh, as a data analyst, that you're just confined to applying to roles that exist in data analytics, right? So it is not like that. As a data analyst, you can comfortably be able to apply to all these roles that you can see here. Data analyst can easily apply to it. Business intelligence analyst, you can also apply to it. Marketing analyst, sales analyst, logistics analyst, supply chain analyst, procurement, product, and of course, database administrator. Now, this is also where some of us always fall off. All right, you are a data analyst and you're looking for a job only as a data analyst. In this modern world, in this 21st century, a lot of jobs have changed their terminologies. All right, so I always advise people to look for a job using the skills that they have and not the name of the job that they want to get into. All right, as someone that knows how to use Excel, Power BI, SQL, you can work as a product analyst. But if you are not looking for all those type of jobs, you're going to just be caught between the web of looking for just data analytics roles. Right? The same thing is also applicable to all the other career paths. So out of those 8 career paths that I have talked about, they have a lot of derivatives under them. All right, so let's quickly look at the HR analyst. All right, for instance, as a HR analyst, you can see that you can apply to a role that exists in the data analyst space. And of course, you can also apply to roles as a people analyst, can apply as a workforce planning analyst, talent specialist, compensation analyst, different terminologies. And believe you me, all these things are also still boiled down to HR analytics. So when you are looking for a job, make sure you're not looking for a job just using the name of what you've been able to be trained as. Look for a job using the skill and the experience that you've been able to get. Okay, I can see a couple of questions. Let me quickly look at them and be able to see if it's the one that I should be able to answer. Which is better for an MSc holder in engineering management? That should be from Fumnanya. All right, so Fumnanya, that may not be sufficient for us to make an informed decision. So what we always do is also, after sessions like this, we have what we call clarity calls, where we can look at your background and be able to direct you to a career path that will give you the best approach from your background. Okay, so I think next question we'll have is, I've been trying to join but was not able to, okay, due to network. Samsung, please make sure that you fill the attendance form so they can get access to recorded version and be able to hear all that I've already said. I have a question. Which is better to learn and more creative? Is data engineering better or data analytics or data analytics? Okay, fantastic. So remember I said I'm going to also explain all those career paths, all right? I'm going to explain all of them so that you will be able to understand what each of them also mean. Okay, which one is more suitable? Fantastic. So all these questions, just listen and definitely I'm going to answer. Which one is more stable for a language teacher, Beatrice? So Beatrice, that the information is not also sufficient, all right? We need to look at your background, look at your history, look at what you like to be able to give you informed, to be able to answer your question from an informed perspective, okay? Right, but we are going to handle all those things in what we call our clarity calls. All right, so moving on. What I also love to point out for people is which countries also have some of these, skill, lacking all those skills, skill shortage. All right, so if you look at my screen, you can easily see, using our same UK, US, and Canada, you can see that this is Canada. All right, this is Canada. Okay, let me bring it closer. Yeah, this is Canada. All right, and this is Nigeria, this is US, and of course, this is United Kingdom. Okay, and when we're talking about skill shortage, can clearly see that all these different countries from here to around here, they have enough skill with respect to the vacancies that exist in those countries, right? They have enough skill with respect to those vacancies, all right? So if you're also looking to move, or if you're already in those countries, you also have to start looking at some of these things. But from Mexico down, this is where you can now start seeing talent shortage with respect to available skills in those countries. Now, this is also from the World Economic Forum report. All right, this is also from the World Economic Forum reports. Now, once you've seen all this, you can see clearly that US has a skill shortage, which is here. All right, this is US. There is shortage of skill in the US. UK also have skill shortage, and of course, Canada as well. Then Nigeria also have skill shortage. I know most of us be asking, oh, how is Nigeria having skill shortage? Now, I have a friend that is in Nigeria at the moment, and this guy is working for 3 different companies as a data analyst. And one of them pays him over $1 million, the other close to it. Before he can add up everything that he earns every month, he's earning close to 3 to 5 million naira every month. All right, and this is because of some of those job vacancies that were created, because a lot of us have left. Now, when people are leaving, it's also creating advantage for people that are also staying. Now, you may want to also look at all this for you to be able to make informed decisions about where you want to also be able to move to. All right, so that same way, like I mentioned earlier, I know most of us, we know our sister Kemi. So Kemi made a new proposal it should be last month or thereabouts. So before now, we all know that for you to get your indefinite leave to remain in UK, All you just need is just 5 years of work, and then 12 months after, you get your British citizenship rather. All right. So just within a space of 6 years, you can become a citizen. Now there's a new proposal, which I know is not yet passed, but it's also to tell you that the best time to start looking at breaking into tech is right now. Now the new proposal is saying 10 years of work, and then you get your ILR, and then 5 years after, you get your British citizenship, and that is 15 years. So what we were able to do before now, within a space of 6 years, we're now looking at 15 years for people to be able to achieve it. Now, this is not to create tension, but it's to, also walk us through that the best time to start looking at getting a skill that will help us with all this should be right now. Okay? The best time to do it should be right now. Okay, so moving on, you can also look at, for you to also be able to get your COS, all right, what career path will offer you that minimum offer that is going to give you what you are looking for. All right. We all know that for you to get your COS, you are looking at a minimum offer of £38,700. Okay. Now, for you to get this, all these different 8 career paths also met those minimum requirements. All right. All those 8 career paths also met these 8, also met the minimum offer that we're looking for. So, like I said, the minimum is 38,700. All right. And if the minimum is 38,700, you can see what business analysis can give you. All right. In UK, you're looking at a minimum of average of 52,500, which means it's met. All right. An average of 52,500. All right. For data analytics, you're also looking at an average of 40,456. All right. For data science, you're looking at an average of 55,323. Right. Data engineering, you're looking at 65,000. And also for agile project management, you are looking at 53,000. All right. Then when you look at HR analytics, which is somehow the least, you are looking at 39,500. All right. Then financial analytics is giving us 51,000, as well as cybersecurity 57,000. Now, I know we're already looking at this and saying, oh, I'm going to make all this money instantly. Remember what I said initially? Also look at your expectations. Also look at your expectations and make sure that what you are trying to get is just for you to get that COS, and not instantly. You are looking for the one that is going to give you the maximum of all those offers there. Okay, most important thing is also for you to look at the one that is going to give you what you are currently looking out for. And if you're in US or if you're in Canada as well, you can also see the average income for people like this. All right. You can also see the average income for people like this. You can also see for business analysis, in Canada, it's as high as 74,000. And also in US, it's as high as 85,000. Same thing that we have in all these places. All right. So, like I said, all of them offers you clearly what you are looking at. So let's just take a moment to look at what we have right here on my screen and be able to assimilate it. Okay. Quickly, let's just go through it and also be able to assimilate it. All right, so moving on, I'm sure that we've been able to look at it clearly. And this is not for us to be able to make decision from a place of income. Like I said earlier, this is not for you to make a decision from a place of income. Because one major misconception that people also have is, oh, which one is giving me the highest income right now? Let me pursue the career path that's giving me the highest income. By virtue of what we have here, we are looking at possibly data engineering or cybersecurity. And within you, clearly you know that you are not someone that is very, very technical. You want a place where you are not getting into coding, you're not doing anything mathematics related, but you are being driven by money to move towards any of this. It means that you are going to have comma at a particular point. All right? Because like I always tell everyone, it's important for you to move to a career path that you have transferable skill towards. Okay, I hope we are all still following me. Now, how can you easily be able to get into this space? What 6 different steps do you need to take for you to comfortably be able to say, oh, right now, I've moved from being a teacher to becoming a business analyst, right? So first thing that you need to do, like I said earlier, is for you to identify your own desired career path, right? So this is the number one thing. This is the number one action that you need to take. Which career path do you want to get into? All right. All right. And then number 2, you are looking at learning the skill. Okay. So for us here at Analytics, we have 2 basic approaches that we take with respect to learning a skill. And number 1 is a self-paced model where you have watch me do it video that your facilitator have already done. And then your own requirement is now go through the watch me do it video and try to replicate the project that your facilitator worked on. And then number 2 is the one we call live classes, all right? So live instructor-led class where you have someone like myself in the classroom walking you through every single thing that you need to know. Remember, number 1 that I mentioned is your live class. So you have access to live class. And then number 2 is you have what we call watch me do it video. So this video is now for you to now replicate what your facilitator or tutor have already done and be able to, assimilate every single thing there. Now, all these sessions that you see here, the live classes, they are also always recorded, right? So the live classes are recorded so that at any point that you missed a class, the recorded version of the class will also be available for you to go through. Okay, I hope we are still listening and hearing me clearly. Now, before I move to the number 3 aspect, I want to ask us a very important question. Okay, so your car spoils, okay, and you are considering this or that. Your car spoiled on the road, and first person came to you and said, oh, I'm a first class graduate from Harvard University. Bring your car, let me repair it for you. Okay, and the next person came to you and said, oh, I'm not a graduate. I'm an experienced mechanic. This is my mechanic workshop. This is the cars I've repaired. I've repaired Aston Martin, I've repaired Benz, I've repaired Volkswagen, Toyota, and so on and so forth. Bring your car, let me repair it for you. Whom are you going to give your car to? The person with a first class graduate from Harvard University, or the person without a degree but experienced mechanic and have shown you evidence of what they've been able to do? So is it this or is it that? Let me quickly gauge the people that I also have in this session. Okay, clearly, people are saying the mechanic that, the uneducated mechanic that, experienced mechanic B that. Fantastic. I'm surprised that none of us chose the first class graduates from Harvard University. And this is also to show us that we actually know these things. Then why are we pursuing certifications? All right? Why are we pursuing certifications? There is something Elon Musk posted in January. He said, if you are looking to build the everything app or something of that nature, and you want to work with us, we don't care the school you went to. We don't care the big company you've worked at. We don't care about the name of the company. Just show us your code. And that is to show you that the work environment has shifted from certification to competence. Okay? So it has shifted from certification to competence. And it is always competence over credential. Okay? Competence over credential. I hope we all got that. So even if you have a credential that is saying that you have this, you are certified this, you are certified that, but practical wise, you can't show value. No recruiter is going to pick you. No recruiter is going to touch you. And the easiest way for you to show value is by learning using project-based model, right? And that brings me to number 3 step. Remember number 1 that I said. Number 1 is for you to choose your desired tech career path. Number 2 is for you to learn. Then number 3 clearly is now for you to gain project-based experience. right? Number 3 is for you to gain project-based experience. And when I talk about project-based experience, what exactly do I mean, right? So let me click at one of the portfolios of our past students so that we can have a sneak peek at what she did. So let me click on this first one here. So as a tech professional, it's important for you to have a portfolio, right? It's very, very crucial for you to have a portfolio. It's how does one build a career in quality assurance management? Nick, I believe you joined late, all right? So if you joined earlier, you'd have heard different 8 career paths that we are fully heads on, all right? And from there, you see the reasons why we are only offering those 8 career paths, because they are the fastest growing, they are the fastest in demand, and they also give you the ease of learning and transitioning into them, right? Now, number 3, like I said, number 3 step for you to take to break into career path is to gain project-based experience. Now, this individual, Victoria, when she was with us, she worked on a couple of projects. Number 1 is Deep Care Hospital ER visit analysis. Number 2 is Redox Airline flight analysis. Number 3, Express Tech Food Delivery. Next 2 products, Zenith Electronics. Now, when you look at each of them, you can see that the Deep Care is in the health sector, all right? And then the Redox Airline is in the aviation sector. Express Tech Food Delivery is in supply chain sector. And then Nestle Product Analysis is also in FMCG, and Zenith Electronics is in the technology space. So clearly, this person has worked on 5 different sectors of the economy by virtue of just training with us. Okay, so they are learning using project-based model. And when you click on any of them, you are actually going to see the projects that they worked on. Okay, so I've clicked on the hospital ER visit analysis. You can see the projects that she worked on with regards to this. Now, when she speaks from a place of experience, she can say, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on the hospital ER visit for a hospital where I was able to identify that for the entire year, we had close to 10,000 patients that visited and an average waiting time of 35 minutes. Now, my pain point was, how do I reduce the average waiting time from 35 minutes to something like 15 minutes? I was able to implement this, I was able to implement that, and because of it, it reduced our average waiting time from 35 minutes to 17 minutes. And by virtue of that, it increased the turnover that we had in the company, and in return, increased the revenue. So when you speak from a place of experience like this, recruiters are going to know that this person have actually worked on a project, all right? You are speaking from a place of experience using the SIT approach, or the STAR framework rather, which is situation that you found yourself, which is while you were consulting with analytics. Then T, which is the task that you took. Then A stands for the actions that you were able to also implement. And then R, the results that you saw in the end. And all these reports are also interactive. So you can easily, remove everything and then speak from a place of quarterly. Okay, that you started implementing this every quarter. And for Q1, this was what you had. After Q1, we had 1,450 patients that visited the hospital with average waiting time of 36 minutes, 27 seconds. And that was the point that you started implementing your tactics of reducing the waiting time, right? For the second quarter, it improved from 36 minutes to having an average waiting time of 35 minutes. And because of that increment in average waiting time or reduction in average waiting time, the number of patients improved. So clearly, you're already seeing your result between Q1 and Q2. And when you speak using all this interactive dashboard to your recruiter, they are clearly going to know that you have done something. Now, the same way this person has this project in the health sector, remember, they also work on other real-life projects from aviation, from supply chain, from tech, and also from FMCG. So 5 different sectors of the economy. Now, let me ask you a question. You, that is a data analyst, you are learning and all those things, right? If you go for any interview, do you think you're going to get the job over this person? Let's just be honest to ourselves, all right? Do you think you are going to get the job over this individual? that has shown projects, that have shown experience of things that she has been able to do in the past. Just be the judge. Tell yourself the truth. Because one thing I've noticed is that if you go on LinkedIn today, everyone always say, "Oh, I'm a data analyst." In their bio, you will definitely see something around data analysis. Now, you've inserted that you're a data analyst in your bio, but you don't have any experience to back it up. Okay, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Everybody's being honest with themselves. So clearly, this shows you the importance of having a portfolio, the importance of learning using product-based model. Okay, number, like I said, number 3 is for you to gain project-based experience. Now, this is very, very crucial, this project-based experience, because it is what is going to show everything that you have been working on. All right, it is what is going to show the experience that you've been able to get. So if you are in the tech space, it's important for you to have a portfolio like the one I just showed us now, because it's also the same thing like you said. If your car spoils, are you going to give it to someone that is saying, "Oh, I'm a graduate of mechanical engineering with first class," or someone that is showing you a workshop of cars that you've been able to repair? Now, your workshop as a tech person is your portfolio. So make sure that you build your portfolio, because those are the things that is going to make you to stand out at any point that you go for any interview. Then number 4 is for you to gain employability skills, package yourself. All right. So I was speaking somewhere, I went to pitch somewhere, and they asked me, "How many years of experience do your management team have?" I said, "Oh, we have close to 100 years of experience." Now, look at me, I'm not even close to 40 years. But when I looked at the question that they asked me, "How many years of experience do your management team have?" And I said, "Close to 100 years of experience." My experience is over 10 years. My founder's experience is over 20. My co-founder's experience is also over 20. When you add all this up, it's collectively over 50 years. Now, the question was, how many years of experience do your management team have? And when I said close to 100 years of experience, I was not lying. It's simply I've learned how to be able to also package myself, right? So packaging is very, very important. And one thing I've also seen in the tech space is that most of us are technically inclined, but when it comes to packaging ourselves, speaking, communicating, we lack in those places. And that is why we're also going to put you through all these employability skills: CV review session, LinkedIn optimization, how to navigate the job market, interview prep session. Very, very important. How do you answer interview questions? And of course, also provide you with references and recommendation letter. So I'm going to still speak extensively on this packaging yourself. But for now, let's move ahead. Then number 5 and number 6 is now networking and of course, mentorship. All right. So I had a friend that she struggled to break into the tech space for close to 2 years. She was learning to be a data analyst. And this is a journey that she can complete within a space of 3 months. And these things always happen when we lack mentors. Because when you have mentors, they're going to tell you, "Oh, this is the mistake I made." And you are going to learn from that mistake. And of course, networking, we've had instances where one of our students moved from our classroom into a job. And then right on the job, he realized that the company also need another person. And he instantly recommended his friend when they were in the same cohort. So networking is also very, very crucial. So once you are able to apply this 6-step approach, remember, number 1 is for you to select a career path. Number 2 is for you to learn the skill. Then number 3 is now for you to gain the project-based experience, then gain employability skills, network, and then also have mentors that will bring you up. Then it's going to bring you to this sector, which is you have gotten the job. Right? As simple as that. It is not rocket science, trust me. And this is how you can move from where you are right now into the place that you want to be. Now, this is the same strategy that also worked for some people already in this 2025. Okay, we'll have a couple of individuals. If you can see my screen, you can see where someone mentioned, "Hello, Priscilla, Happy New Year." This happened around February. I'm overwhelmed with good news. I have 3 job interviews. Most importantly, I have an interview with Stars Energy for HR data analyst role. one of the jobs you posted, right? I'm still going to walk us through some of these aspects of jobs that we post. Okay, I need your help preparing for this interview, for this particular job. Of course, she booked for the interview prep, we prepped her, and then she came back last month with, I got the job. Now, this is what we consider as success here at Analytics. This is the good news that we always want to get from everyone. I got the job. But it is not something that always comes easy. Like I always tell everyone, I love to be very, very honest. Our success story is at 88%. So what this means is that out of 100 people that join our program, 88% or 88 out of the 100 get to land a job. Now the 12, does it mean that we gave them something different from the other 88? No. Now there are also instances where people also lose interest. There are some instances where people also don't come to classes. People don't do what we've asked them to do. Now, if you don't do all those things, job is not going to fly and land on your laps. Okay, I was looking at a survey last year. It said, for you to land one job interview in a month, you need to apply to 27 jobs every week. All right, if you multiply 27 by 4, that should give you roughly, that should be 108, right? Which means in a month, you need to apply to 108 jobs for you to land one job interview. All right. Now, it doesn't mean that you are bad. It's just what the environment is right now. It's just what the ecosystem is at right now. Okay. So please make sure that you key into all these things. All right. So we also have instance where another person also came, and this was from Shay. So if you're in UK, you may know about Robert Half. So Robert Half reached out to us and said, oh, this individual mentioned that he used to consult with your company as so and so. Please provide reference to validate this. And of course, we are also able to provide this. So like we always tell all our students, you are not learning with us. You are not a student. You are a consultant. Because we also play in the consulting space. What we ideally do is that when we get all those contractual services, we also give it to our students to work on. So all those projects that you are working on, they are actual real life projects, okay? The only thing that we do is that we codify it sometimes to protect ourselves from GDPR or NDPR, data protection laws, right? To make sure that we're not breaching any agreement with any of our clients. So you might see something like ABC Retail, but in actual terms, it might be one of the big retail shops in UK that we are actually consulting for. So that is how you can easily say that you have consulted with Analytics and worked on this project. So you can also see the next one where someone also came and said that, oh, we need to also complete this reference letter from main cap resourcing team. We need to complete the reference letter before they can give Osamu DMA the offer letter that he is due for. So all these things are part of services that will provide for you. If you live in US, UK, or Canada, you'd agree with me that recommendation and reference letter is very, very, very important, very, very crucial. And what we provide you is also international-based experience, because we have affiliation with a different company, Amdari, that's fully registered in the United Kingdom. And of course, with Analytics, we are fully resident in Canada. So you are getting experience that is both in US, in Canada, and also experience that is also existing in the United Kingdom. Now, all these things always seem impossible until it is done, which is why we have a lot of success stories of people that have been able to do this before now. Okay, so you can see Adetayo. Adetayo got a role in cybersecurity after 60 to 70% completion rate of the cybersecurity program. All right, you can also see the other success stories. Please, when you get the slide, just click on them to hear and watch what they had to say. Also, feel free to reach out to them on LinkedIn to be able to clarify any questions that you may have, okay? But for you to get this slide, please remember, you need to fill the attendance form, all right? Once you fill the attendance form, if we are done with this session, we are going to send the slide to everyone that filled it, and also the recorded version of this discussion that we're having. And then the amazing gifts that I have for you will also be, we are going to be using the attendance form to also check people that was in this first session, because we have a gift for people that joined this first session. I know you may be wondering, oh, you used to be this, you used to be that. Can you get into the tech space? I want you to look at Ikmat, right? Ikmat used to be a full-time stay-at-home mom, but she moved from being a full-time stay-at-home mom to becoming a data analyst with full visa-sponsored job with the NHS, right? So she moved to becoming a data analyst. And I love Ikmat's story because Ikmat, 1 month into the program, Ikmat got a job. She was not able to take it up because of limitation. She was still a student as at then, so she was not able to take up that role. Now, when she finished, she struggled to land another. It took her 2 months extra after the training to land 2 different jobs that she now had to select the one that she wants, okay? 2 different jobs, she now has to select the one that she wants. Remember, she moved from being a full-time stay-at-home mom to landing 2 jobs. Now, we also have Ramat. Ramat used to be a customer success rep, and she also moved to business analysis. We have Toyin. Toyin used to be a pharmacist, and she also moved to data analytics, right? So we have a lot of people that made this move. All these things you see on my slide, they are all success stories. And of course, Abigail, I love Abigail's story because she used to work as a care worker in Canada. But at the moment, Abigail landed a role as a business analyst with the government of Alberta in Canada. But right now, she's a manager as a business analyst. She moved up the ladder. So if all these people are able to do this, same as you, okay? So all these are possible. But remember, first, you have to learn the skills. So all these success stories, when you get the slide, please make sure you go through them to be able to understand what and how they were able to do to get into all those career paths. Now, what are the different skills that you need? So this is where you need your biro and paper, all right? Because I'm going to explain all those career paths for everyone to understand so that you know whom a business analyst is, who a data analyst is, and be able to make informed decisions. But quickly, let me look at the comment section. Lois is asking, I need to know if 2 old people are not discriminated for getting jobs from this program. Not at all, Lois. I think our youngest person in the program, he was 17, while our oldest was 67. So we've had 2 young and we've had people on both sides. And remember, it is project-based and it's always hands-on. So we teach everyone like you don't know anything. So even if you have an already existing knowledge, just assume that you're learning or you are having a refresher course, okay? Because we are going to teach you like you do not know anything. Now, let's move on to understanding all those different career paths like I mentioned. So who exactly is a business analyst? When we talk about business analysts, whom do we refer to? Now, business analysts are simply people that come into the company to improve and optimize the existing processes and make it better, which means if they make a process at level 1, they're going to improve it to level 2, right? I'm going to give a quick example. I used to be a banker in Nigeria, right? So as of 2011, not 2011, 2010, 2012, 13, yeah. If you walk into any banking hall, you're going to see a long queue, right? You're going to see a queue there. Now, people try to perform different activities. You enter the man trap door, queue up, get to the teller point, pick a form, go to a desk, fill it, come back, queue up to perform that same activity. Business analysts saw this and said, how do we make it better? Now, they introduced what we call the bulk room, where if you have maybe amount over 100,000 naira, you get to move to a different room for you to be attended to. From there, they introduced gold cards that instantly some people can come in and move towards the manager straight. And then from there, we have something like agency banking, internet banking. All this is simply what do we do to make the process better? So that is whom a business analyst is. So if you used to be a quality assurance, internal control, auditor, teacher, lawyers as well, someone that is also able to communicate. Because as a business analyst, part of your role entails making sure that information flows between these 2 divides. Let's call it the non-technical stakeholders and the technical stakeholders. This is you, the business analyst. Now, the non-technical guys can be the CEOs, the COOs, the CFOs, and so on and so forth. The technical guys can be the software engineers, the back-end engineer, the different, technical guys. Now it's your responsibility to also make sure that information flows from these technical guys down to these non-technical, and also from these non-technical to these technical guys. So it is your responsibility. So if you want to become a business analyst, you need to make sure that you are heavy with communication. All right? You need to make sure that you are heavy with communication. Now, part of the things that you are going to be learning first is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Now, clearly, for anyone that understands, these are data analytical tools. Now, these are data analytical tools. But what we also come to realize is that recruiters are becoming smart. They are now looking for business analysts that has data understanding. And that is why you as a business analyst, you need to learn these tools, Excel, SQL, and Power BI, so that you can be able to understand data and be able to know how to approach it. Then you have your process mapping. Now, remember, as a business analyst, for you to identify a process to improve, you need to first of all map out all the existing processes there. And that is where you learning Lucidchart and .io comes in. So you need to map out all the processes and then identify the ones that need to be improved. Okay, and for you to take action of improving them, that is you trying to embark on a project. And that is why you are also going to learn project initiation planning, and of course, Agile and Scrum for projects. And why you're learning Agile and Scrum for projects is that the best type of project management methodology to apply for any of these aspects of projects is Agile. So that is why you are also going to learn Agile and Scrum for projects. Then you now move on to learn software development lifecycle, requirements fundamentals, elicitation method, and then stakeholder analysis, and of course, ChatGPT for a business analyst. Now you can clearly see that you've learned something that relates to data analytics. All right? You've learned something that relates to project management, and of course, you also have what you've learned as a business analyst. So what this means is that clearly you can apply to roles that exist in data analytics. You can apply to roles that exist in project management, and then you can also apply to roles as a business analyst. All right? I hope we clearly got everything that I just mentioned right now. You can apply to data analytical roles, apply to project management roles, and also apply to business analysis. Now, how are you going to learn? How are you going to learn? Remember, I mentioned earlier that you are going to have live classes where someone is walking you through everything that you need to know. Now, the class holds only on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. So we have the morning class and the evening class. You can only be in one, right? So if you're in UK, if you're in Europe or Africa, the morning class mostly suitable for you. If you're in Canada, US, or any of the North American countries, right? You can easily join the evening class, which is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It should be around 10 a.m. Mountain time, right? So this happens on Saturdays. Now, this Saturday, you're having a live class. Next Saturday, you're having a self-paced approach, right? So which means live class, self-paced. Live class, self-paced, okay? And this is to make sure that you're not boxed up, because I know most people here, they are all workers. We are all looking for money, right? So we want to make sure that you still have time to make and pursue all those money, okay? So the program is for 8 months, all right? The program is for 8 months. You are going to learn in the classroom for 6 months and then have an internship experience with a different company for 2 months, all right? So remember, you're learning in the classroom for 6 months and then having an internship experience with us for other 2 months, all right? That's excluding all the projects you've actually worked on while you are learning, which means you have a project while you are learning, and then also after you are moved to a different company to also get internship experience. Now, all this is to prepare you for the job market. Now, this is whom a business analyst is. I hope we understood clearly whom a business analyst is before I move on to the agile project managers. Okay, I hope we all understood what I just explained right now. Are we still with me to this very moment? Are we still with me to this very moment, please? Okay, thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Busayo. Okay, remember, my colleague is dropping the attendance form. With the attendance form, you have access to all the slides. You can now easily go through all of them. You have access to recorded version to listen to it over again. And also, we have a surprise for everyone that fills that attendance. Now, moving on to the Agile Project Managers. Now, before I move on to what they do, we always refer to Agile Project Managers as this segment is the no code area. Right? So when you hear no code area in tech, it simply refers to the Agile Project Managers and the Scrum Masters. And what it simply means is that you are not doing anything that is technical, like technical from the aspect of doing a calculation, doing coding, all those kind of things. No. Your simple action is you are going to serve as a leader and there's a coach for this project team, making sure that everyone is working using the methodology, which is Agile, that you've chosen for that project. All right? You are going to serve as a coach and leader. So if you're someone that you are running from doing anything technical or coding, this is the place for you. All right? If you are running from anything mathematics, you don't want to do anything Excel, you don't want to do anything technical, this is your own career path. All right? And you are going to serve as a leader and a coach within this team. And if you're also someone that has enough years of experience, what I've realized is that people that have a lot of years of experience, project management also favors them. Because with those experience that you have, you can easily be able to coach people and lead a team. Right now, you don't need to be a software developer for you to lead what that software developer is going to do. Your responsibility is simple, using Agile methodology to make sure that everyone is working on that project. Example of an Agile project that I know all of us may have understanding of is, how many of us know Nairaland? Right, so as far back as 2006 or thereabouts, that's when I knew about Nairaland. And the same way Nairaland was as of 2006, that's the same way Nairaland is till this very moment, 2025. Now, that is not a project that was done using Agile methodology. It was done using waterfall. All right? It was done using waterfall methodology. Now, Agile simply means flexibility. You are constantly improving on what you already have. For instance, let's assume that a project that will take you 8 months before now, you found a way to do it under 3 months. That is you working Agile. Now, remember, like I said, every single thing that you are going to be doing is using Agile methodology. An example of a project done with Agile is WhatsApp, Instagram, all these modern apps that we're seeing today, they are all done using Agile methodologies. Because today, if I go to my Instagram and click like, it's normal red. If I come back tomorrow and I like someone's post, it's now becoming fatter. If I click again, it's now turning to pink or orange. So constantly they're making modifications to a lot of things on the app. And that's to show you how agile that they are. So the first thing that you are going to be learning is understanding project management. Okay, and then you move on to the foundations of Agile and Scrum before diving into Scrum artifacts fully. All right, understanding your increments, your sprints, your product backlog, every single thing, even up to the advanced level of Scrum. How do you perform your daily Scrum activities, which we call daily stand-ups, okay? And then you move on to how do you use Jira, Confluence, and also Trello for your tracking. Now, as a project manager, as a PM, what you are going to be using is Confluence for collaboration and tracking, Jira for project deliverables and also track your bugs, your child stories, and also your epics. And of course, also learn Trello. So these are the tools that you are going to be learning. Okay, you're also going to be taught Kanban board. Because what I've also realized in this space is that sometimes Agile is not going to work. Sometimes waterfall is not going to work. It's something as little as Kanban workflow that you might be able to use to deliver that project. So you're also going to learn it. Then you move on to your metrics and reporting. How do you know when your team is performing below what they're supposed to do or when they're optimum or above their levels? Okay, and then the leadership and real-world application of Agile project management. Then Nexus Scaled Scrum. How do you manage multiple projects iteratively? Then everything that you learn as a Agile Project Manager is also going to prepare you for your professional Scrum Master examination. So the timeline is also the same thing. The class is only on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. watts, and then 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. watts. It can only be in one, right? Then the timeline is for 8 months. You learn in the classroom for 6 months, learning all these key learning areas that I've mentioned, and then you have an internship experience with a different company for 2 years. Now, let's move on. So how many of us are leaning towards Agile Project Managers, the people that don't want to do anything technical, people that want to serve as coach or leaders within a team? How many of us are leaning towards that aspect? Let me see by drop of comments. Let me know whether people are actually also still here. Okay, Kelvin said him. Fantastic. So Kelvin is moving there. Chinaka is there. Lillian is there. Can we join the class that started today for project management, Marvin? Marvin, just wait. When you see the pricing, you are going to actually make it. You are going to change your question, all right? So we have a different plan for people starting now. But if you're looking to go back, then we might want to, join using the plan that they are already on. Okay, now, if you move on for data engineers, so I'm going to answer your question clearly very soon. Marvin, please just I'll answer your question very soon. For data engineers, these are people that we refer to, I would liken them to plumbers. So, in our construction companies, the way you have your plumber that builds different pipelines to make sure that water flows seamlessly within the building. That once you open your tap, water flows. If you open your shower, water flows. If you flush, water flows. Because you'll be able to build a pipeline to make sure that water is directly connected to the source. That is how someone also needs to build the pipeline, the architecture, to make sure that data flows easily within the data ecosystem. And that's data engineers. For instance, this is your data source. Let's call this the data source. You've been able to bring data to this place. And in this place, you've been able to transform this data and is now loading it to different people that need it. All right, this is simply whom data engineers are. They are very, very heavy on coding. Okay, data engineers are very, very heavy on coding. So that's why first thing that you are going to be learning is your intro to data engineering, which is basically around understanding data lifecycle management and also understanding data architecture. Before you move on to SQL, structured query language, how do you put or bring a database that you're going to make it available for the analysts and data scientists to work with? How do you put data into your database? Then you move on to understanding your Python programming and also your Linux operating system. Like I said, they are very, very heavy on coding. Okay, so you're not going to have understanding of Windows operating system or Mac OS anymore. You're going to have those and also Linux operating system. And then how do you build a custom ETL pipeline? So ETL is simply extraction. So let's call this extract, then transform, and of course, you now load. So still using this sample that I wrote before now, data engineers extract data from a source and they now transform it in an IDE. IDE, that's your integrated development environment. It can be a Jupyter notebook, it can be Google Colabs, it can be any environment. Transform it there, and then you load it to a database. So what you're trying to achieve is to make data that is scattered everywhere simply collected in the database and available for the data analysts and scientists to work with. All right. And then how do you automate this process? That is where Apache Spark and Apache Airflow come in. And also for you to also be able to store this data in the space, you need to understand cloud engineering. So you're going to also walk through cloud engineering, your GCP and also Azure. And of course, have full understanding of GitHub and also your ChatGPT Copilot. So like I said, data engineers are very, very heavy on coding. So how many of us are sitting towards this part? Okay, remember, all these things we're going to teach you from the basic level. One of the best data engineers that I know, he transitioned from being a pharmacist to becoming a data engineer, right? It's not an easy thing, but it is possible, right? It is highly possible. The learning timeline is also the same thing like the other guys I've also mentioned. classes only on Saturdays, the morning and evening class, and then the learning of the duration is for 8 months, 6 months in the class, and then 2 months internship experience. Okay, fantastic. I can see a couple of people that are tilting towards data engineering. I can't wait to see you guys in the data engineering class. All right, now let's move to where a lot of people are waiting for. I know most of us are waiting for the data analyst. Now, I'm going to explain data analyst using a simple concept, all right? So when we talk about data analysts, okay, what's going on? Sorry, okay, I think it's back. When we talk about data analysts, these are people that come into the business to answer 2 basic questions, all right? And that is simply descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. So what they're trying to do is to answer questions around what happened and why did it happen, okay? So let me give you an example. So last year, hypothetically, let's say, so our data analyst came and said that we posted a revenue of $1 million, all right? And he'd gone on to tell us, oh, that 500,000 came from US markets, 200,000 came from UK and also the Canadian markets, and then 100,000 from rest of the world. So he's been able to tell us what happened. 500,000, 200 from US, UK, Canada, and so on and so forth. The data is not sufficient for us to make any business decision. All right, so the expectation is that he's going to look at the other data that the company has. He might look at, let's say, the marketing data. And from there, he saw our marketing budget. And for our marketing budget, we spent 50% of our budget in US, right? And spent 20% respectively in UK and Canada. And then spent 10% in rest of the world. Now, from this, you can easily now start seeing a correlation between what happened and why it happened, okay? So if you're not trying to make a recommendation, you can now say, oh, if we're looking to improve our revenue for the rest of the world, we may want to also look at improving the marketing budget for the rest of the world because there's a correlation there, right? So for you to be able to answer these 2 questions of what happened and why it happened, you need to understand problem solving. So that is why first thing that you are going to learn as a data analyst is problem solving. How do you solve a problem? Because they're going to the business to solve a problem for them, all right? Then you now move on to learn Excel. From your basic level, starting from learning your rows, your cells, your columns, moving on to your formulas and your functions, and then up to your tables and charts, okay? How do you do your pivot table and also your pivot chart? So you're going to learn Excel from basic to advanced level. Then for you to communicate with the database, remember, database doesn't understand come and go. You need to speak the language that it understands, which is SQL, structured query language. So for you to do that, you're also going to learn that language. Then for you to now visualize your data and show your report in a visual appealing manner, instead of having numbers scattered everywhere, you can have it in a bar chart, or you can have it in a pie chart showing different things. That is where Power BI and Tableau comes in. And it also allows you to analyze bigger data sets for you to easily be able to achieve more within lesser period of time. Okay, so Tableau and Power BI allows you to do that. Then data storytelling is important because one key thing is that your stakeholders, they are not technical people. If you are speaking to a CEO that is not technical, they don't understand anything that you are saying. So you need to know how do you tell your story. For instance, if you join this call and the first thing I started telling you is that for you to be a data analyst, you need to learn problem solving, Excel, SQL, you are going to lose me, all right? But if you started from the beginning, you can see the journey that I've been able to take us through. That is from point 1 to point 2 to point 3. That is how you also learn how do you tell your story to your stakeholders for you to be able to provide a compelling recommendation. All right, you're also going to learn ChatGPT for analytics and as well as Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. The learning timeline is also the same thing like the other guys that I've also been able to explain. Now, how many of us are looking to get into data analytics? How many of us are looking to be data analysts? Let me also see our own drop of comments so that I'll be sure that there are people also tilting towards this. Now, the next one, okay, Duchex is DA, Emmanuel is DA, fantastic. It's good to have you all here. Tomiwa, and of course, Elvis and me are here. Now, the next one that we have is the data scientist. The data scientist. Now, these guys are their siblings to data analysts. All right. So clearly, they are going to answer 3 basic questions. Remember, the analyst answered 2, the scientist is going to answer 3. All right, starting with descriptive analytics, and then diagnostic analytics, and then predictive analytics. Okay, then predictive analytics. Now, for descriptive, it's telling us, okay, this is also what happened. For diagnostic, it's also telling us this is why it happened. Then the predictive is telling us what is going to happen in the future. So this is where the differential lies. It's going to build predictive model. Now, what this simply means is that because it can also do all these things, it simply means that a data scientist can comfortably work as a data analyst also. Right? They can also comfortably work as a data analyst and be able to apply to this role. So you can see the first thing that they are learning in statistics. They move on to forecasting using Excel, then Tableau, and also SQL. All these are data analytical tools, and it prepares them for that role. The next one is you're now moving towards the coding aspect of data. How do you also build your predictive model? All right, you can see your Python programming, and then moving on to your exploratory data analysis, your machine learning and AI, and then also your computer vision. For instance, I have the backdrop here that nobody knows what's happening behind me because someone has built a computer vision to recognize only the visuals of the person in front. Right? So data scientists, they are tilting towards coding also. For them to be able to build all these predictive models and tell the future, that is why they now start moving towards Python. Right? So if you already have existing knowledge of data, you already know how to use Excel, and you want to challenge yourself more, then you should start looking towards data science. All right? You should start looking towards data science. I know I didn't mention this earlier, but for data analytics, it is a career path that everyone can easily get into. All right? For data analytics, it's a career path that everyone can easily get into because one way or the other, you have interacted with data. Right, so moving on, can now get into financial analysts. Now, these are data analysts that have streamlined to financial data. Okay, you can see the first thing that they are also learning is also something that relates to data. Right, they're learning problem solving. The same thing a data analyst is learning. They're learning Excel, they're learning Power BI, they're learning SQL. So this is purely data analytics. And then they're now learning how do you apply all these things to the financial space. That is where FA comes in. Your accounting fundamentals, okay, your treatment of accounting fundamental, your cash flow, your income statement, and also your balance sheet, okay? You're going to understand them. Then how do you also analyze your financials? That is financial analysis. Then how do you build a financial model to tell a company, okay, in the next 4 years, this is where we're looking at our financials to be. And also, how do you do valuation and sensitivity and scenario analysis? So financial analysts are simply data analysts that streamline to financial data. They can work as a data analyst and they can also work as a financial analyst. Okay, so if you have any financial background and you're looking to get into tech, you may want to also be looking at financial analytics. Okay, if you're looking for that ease, you want to start looking at financial analytics. Okay. All right. Now the next one is now the HR analyst. The same way the financial analysts are data analysts that have streamlined to financial data, HR analysts are also data analysts that have streamlined to HR data. So they're also going to learn problem solving like a data guy, learn Excel, learn Power BI, and also SQL. And then they're now learning how do you apply all these things to the HR space. All right, starting with your HR analytics and your performance evaluation. How do you use Excel to carry out what we call appraisal? Build your appraisals, KPIs for different people in your company. How do you build a HR matrix and life cycle to know when to perform exit interviews or stay interviews? Most times, HRs perform exit interviews. They don't even know, okay, maybe when someone turns 30 in this company, they always resign. But when you analyze your people data, you can easily be able to find out all these things. All right. And then you also learn HR analysis and dashboarding, and of course, collaboration and report automation. So everything that you are learning prepares you also to apply to data roles and also to HR analytics roles. And this is also same learning model, Saturdays and also option of 8 months, 6 months in the class, and then 2 months internship experience. Now we are at the last, guys, cybersecurity professional. I hope by now you've been able to identify the career paths that tilt towards you. Now, cybersecurity guys are simply people that come into the business to protect the digital assets that we have from any external influence. Many times, there is always this misconception that for you to be a cybersecurity professional, you need to know how to code. All right? Entirely, you don't need to be an expert in coding for you to be a cybersecurity professional, but you need to be highly technical. All right? You may not be writing any line of code, but for each of these key learning areas that you are seeing here, it's not just the same way data analysts have just Excel, Power BI, and SQL. For you to perform threat detection, you are going to use Splunk. You are going to use a different tool. You are going to use both, what's it called? You are going to do all of them in your Kali as well. So at any point in time, you are working with more than 2 tools, right? Which is why I said this is a highly technical space. All right, so the first thing that you are going to learn is the overview and roles that exist here. But for cybersecurity, it's not like every other career path where data analyst is a data analyst. But for cybersecurity, there are different domains. You have your red team, you have your blue team. There's people that are attack-minded, people that are defense-minded. Okay, so you're going to have understanding of both of these for you to now know where you want to be in. Then you now move on to have understanding of your information security principles and risk management, okay, which we call your CIA triad. Confidentiality, okay, I think I'm getting a feedback from somewhere. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, right? And then you move on to your introduction to network security. So this is the point where you're now tilting towards how do you utilize your Cisco packet tracer or your Wireshark to run network topologies, okay? And of course, you're also moving towards your threats and vulnerabilities. So at that moment, you're also learning Nmap and also how to utilize all those threat detection tools. So there are a lot of tools that you are going to be learning, okay? Then you now move to your SOC roles and responsibilities. How do you work as a SOC analyst? What are your responsibilities? How do you analyze your different logs and also monitor your network monitoring as well? Okay, that's where you're now learning Splunk as a SOC analyst. Then you're also going to move on to your threat detection and response, as well as your incident response and also intelligence lifecycle. Then what we call your OSINT, open source intelligence gathering. All these things are done with tools, because as a cybersecurity professional, you need to also learn how to gather information to prevent hackers from gaining access to your system. Right, then you move on to your malware analysis, and then now introduction to your pen testing. So this is where you're now learning how do you now become the person that attacks. Okay, ethical is not attacking unethically. All right, then you move on to your vulnerability scanning and also your exploitation, learning how to use your Metasploit and also your Bob suite for all those exploitation. Then lastly, you have this part that we call the GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance. That's where you now start learning the different governance and compliance frameworks, your ISO 27001, your NIST, your GDPR, your NDPR, your compliance audit, and also how to build a security awareness. Now, most time people will come to you and say, I just want to be a GRC professional. But what I always tell them is that you can't govern or build controls around a system that you do not understand. That is part of the issues that we are having. So for you to be a fantastic GRC person, you need to also understand all these technical aspects. You may not be highly technical in them, but you need to also be able to understand. By the time that you are now done, you can now easily decide the career path that you want to easily be able to get into. All right, I hope we clearly understood all these things that I've mentioned, because I've handled all those career paths. Now, to reiterate, your learning class is only on Saturdays. This Saturday, you're having a live class. Next Saturday, you're having a self-paced. Next one, live class. Next one, self-paced. And you have 2 classes, one in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. what? One in the evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. what? It can only be in one. And the program runs for 8 months. 6 months learning in the class and then 2 months internship. As a lawyer, I can see what Kemi just dropped. As a lawyer, easily they are tilted towards GRC, right? Because of the governance knowledge that you already have. But sometimes they run from the technical aspect. So if you're a lawyer that is open to technicalities, you may want to look at cybersecurity. But if you're not open to technicalities, you may want to look at business analysis, because that is where you can be able to maximize your eloquence. Because business analysts are people that also need to be able to speak effectively. All right, I hope that answers your question. Now, like I said earlier, you have the opportunity to have 2 leading tech companies in your CV, because within that 6 months, you are consulting with Analytics. And then the other 2 months, you're having internship experience with Amdare. Okay, and what it clearly means is that Analytics is registered in Canada, Amdare is registered in UK, which means you are having experience from 2 international companies that you can easily have in your CV. I know last week provided references for someone in UK, and these are things that recruiters always want, okay? So if you've not been able to identify a career path, please, and for everyone also, make sure you fill the attendance form. With that attendance form, you can easily be able to have access to the slide and personally go through it. And also, you have access to the recorded version of this discussion and also listen to it after. Now, like I said earlier, for you to land a role, your technical skill alone is not sufficient. So everything I've been saying since is just about technicals. You also need to build your employability skill, okay? And these are things that is now going to help you to land the job offer, all right? So first and among those employability skills that we're going to walk you through is CV review sessions. People struggle to land jobs because their CV is not sufficient. You've not even passed the initial ATS, that's the applicant tracking system. Now, what we do is that we are going to teach you how to tailor your CV down to the job that you are going for, and then provide you with a template of a CV that can now continuously optimize, right? So this is to help you to have a CV that meets the applicant tracking system standard, okay? And then you now move on to your LinkedIn optimization, okay? Most people, when they want to hire, LinkedIn is the easiest place they go to. So make sure that you are visible. So we're going to also walk you through LinkedIn optimization, teach you all the things that you need to put into place so that once they search for a data analyst in Ireland, your profile is going to come up. A data analyst in Southampton, your profile is going to come up. A data analyst in Saskatchewan, your profile is going to come up. So at each moment, you are optimizing your profile to reflect your skills. Then we'll also walk you through how you can navigate the job market, where we bring in expert recruiters back to the classroom to walk you through some of those job boards that you can easily be able to utilize. And when you land an interview invite, we are also available to prepare you for interviews. How do you use the SEAT and STAR framework to answer interview questions? STAR framework simply situation, task, action, and results. We are going to prepare you for all those interviews that you are going for. And then when you now land all those offers and they require reference, we are also available to provide you with references and recommendation letter. And of course, on the job support, even though our students don't come for this, because there is no how you spend 6 months with us and you're coming for on the job support. So, but in the event that you need support, we also there support you on the job till you're able to find your fitting for 1 month. Then weekly mentorship sessions and also Upwork session where you also learn how do you know how to freelance easily. You are making money through freelance and also adding up to the ones that you already have. So these are things that we'll put into place for you to be able to land a job. And it doesn't end there, okay? We have what we call, you have access to weekly job posts. So if you joined earlier, you will hear when I talked about a student saying, oh, I got this job from the job that you advertised. Now, what we do is, because we have access to platforms that are also paid for, right? So some of these platforms, we scrape them, right? So when we scrape them, we provide all those available jobs for our students to also be able to apply to them, okay? We provide all those jobs for our students to also be able to apply to them. So quickly, I'm trying to also bring up that so that we can also have access to it. I don't know why that is taking time to come up. All right, so when you join the program, you are going to have access to all different job boards that we scrape. For instance, we have access to these UK visa jobs. So what we do on weekly basis is that we come here and we scrape the jobs that are available here and also send it to our students to apply to most of these jobs. So the same way we do for UK, we do for US and also for Canada and different other countries. All right, we scrape all these jobs so that you have access to all those jobs, okay? So we scrape it for you to have access to it, okay? So for instance, let me also show something. You can see some of these jobs, data analysts at PwC, multiple locations. If you search ideally on some of the job boards, you may not see this, all right? But on UK visa jobs, easily they have most of those jobs posted there, okay? It is paid for, so this is a paid platform. We've already subscribed to it. What we now do is we scrape all those jobs and send to our students to apply. The same way we do for data analysts, same way we do for data science, data engineer, and other products. And we have an amazing AI assistant that is also going to help you with any challenge that you are having. So when you join the program, this is your learning management system. All right, this is your learning management system. So when you join, you have access to this, okay? So let me quickly show us how we can also be able to utilize our own AI trainer, Oluko. All right, so once you join, you can easily see, okay, this is what's going on. Let me start a new chat so that it can be easy for everyone. All right, so once you join and have access to this Oluko, so let me converse with Oluko. My name is Chukwuemeka Oluko, okay, Chukwuemeka. And I've told Oluko to go ahead. Okay, so it's not asking me, okay, Chukwuemeka, my name is Oluko, which stands for teacher. I'm your personal AI trainer designed by Analytics. Which of the categories below best suits your current concerns? You can see career-related question, course context explanation, code-based issue. So our AI can also help you to run your code-based issues. And of course, interview preps. So let me click on interview prep, okay? Said, wow, you're awesome, congratulations on securing the job interview and so on and so forth. So on one of the jobs that I've seen on UK Jobs Offer, let me quickly copy what I have there, okay? Let me quickly copy what I have on those job boards. So they say we are seeking for an experienced pension data analyst in UK, blah, blah, blah. So let me just copy it. I've copied it and I've come back to our own AI. So what he said is, please copy and paste everything about the job in the chat below. I've simply copied it and I'm pasting it here. So once I paste it, it's going to come up with what I need to prepare for. Right? So all these are also embedded in your learning management system to assist you with every single thing that you need. So you can easily come back here up and see, okay, what did he say? First thing is for you to understand the role. Review the job description and familiarize yourself with the author pension, blah, blah, blah. And then technical skills. He's talking about you knowing Power BI, SQL, and also Microsoft Excel. So it's important for you to understand these key things. Then studying the soft skill you need to prepare for, the create experience, be ready to discuss any relevant projects you've worked on, particularly those involving pension systems or data management. So you can easily see how the AI is also there to assist you with anything that you need. And of course, we're also physically still here. Whenever you have all these issues, we are available for you. On your platform, you can see where you can schedule appointments. You can see where you can request a reference letter. You can see where you can request a reference detail. And you can easily see your facilitators and your colleagues. All right? So this is simply your dashboard that you are also going to be learning with. I hope we are all following till this very moment. I hope we are all following me till this very moment. So please make sure that you have access to this slide so they can clearly look at everything that I've talked about this evening. Okay, so moving on, it is now about success stories. All these things that I've been saying, it is highly possible because we've had people that have been able to make all this move before you. Okay, if you heard when we started, I said we've helped 2,850 plus people to move from a classroom into landing a job, and it's by applying this same model. Okay, it's by applying this same model. All these things that you see on my slide, they're all success stories of people that have been able to make this journey before you. Can see Lois. So Lois' story is also amazing. Lois used to be an accountant, and she took the business analysis program with us. But she landed a role as a project manager. Remember when I was saying that as a business analyst, you can apply to roles that exist in data analytics, project management, and also business analysis. Lois was one of those people that took advantage of it. You can see Ngozi. Ngozi took also the business analysis program, but she applied a role and got it as a business analyst. All right, so you are not confined to a space. Oluwadamilare did data analytics with us, and currently he is working as a sustainability data analyst with BAM in the UK. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, make sure that when you are looking for a job, you are looking for a job using the skill that you've learned and not just the job role. Okay, so all these things that you can see here, okay, just 1 second, guys. I think that is all right, sorry about that. I had a little bit of technical issue. All right, so like I mentioned, all these are all success stories of people that have been able to embark on this journey as well. So when you get the slide, please ensure you go through it, look through all of them to find the one that is also tilting towards your own story. Okay, all these are success stories of people before you that have made the move. Abigail used to be a care worker, now she's a business analyst. Toyin used to be a pharmacist, now she is a data analyst. And of course, we also have Abdrashid. Abdrashid currently still resides in Nigeria, but he's working for Child 420 as a data scientist in the US. So I always mention to people that it is possible for you to actually land all these roles, though it is not easy if you're not in those locations. So I'm not going to say it's easy. It is now a numbers game for you. Okay, so if you're in Nigeria, if you're in Ghana, you're looking for jobs in UK, US, or Canada, it's a numbers game. If others are applying to 20 jobs, you need to apply to 100 jobs because you are already at a disadvantage by not being physically present in all those locations. So when you get the slide, please make sure you go through this. And when you get to this place, these are all, we had a session where we brought in past students to come back to classroom and put you through what they passed through. So you can hear them and learn from their own experience. All right. Last year, we also got into the Better Capitalizer program where we totally wanted to learn how do we help more people to break into the career path. If we helped, okay, for the entire 2024, I know we helped 355 people to land a job in 2024. So this year, we want to be able to times that by 2. And that's why we got into programs like the Our Better Capitalizer program. And when you are done training with us, you're also going to get a certificate that is fully accredited by the ACTD. And that's the American Council of Training and Development. They're going to get the certificate that is fully from the ACTD. Okay? And then what is now the next step that you need to take? All right, our next cohort is starting on April 5th. Okay, it's starting on April 5th. So we start cohorts on each first Saturday of the month. So the next one is starting on April 5th. And like I said earlier, we have an amazing discount for everyone because of the International Women's Day celebration that we are having right now. So we got amazing people that said, oh, we want to be able to help more people to get into tech. I want to be able to subsidize this for these individuals. So the full price of our program is $900. But right now, it's fully discounted to $450. Okay, it's fully discounted to $450. And you have the option to pay instrumentally, which means you get to simply pay $150 for 3 months. Okay, so for all our programs that we offer, we have 50% discount on all of them by virtue of some amazing VCs that said, oh, let's help these individuals because it's International Women's Day. But remember, it is not for everyone. Okay, so once for you to secure your spot, once you click on this link that my colleague is going to drop in the group chat, just click on that link and it's going to take you to our main stack enrollment center. Okay, it's going to take you to our main stack enrollment center. All you have to do at that point is simply scroll down. Okay, you can see women in tech scholarship. It is for 300 women and 50 men. Okay, and the call that we have right now, we have over 200 people. And for that discounted option, when you go into to make those payments, you're going to see how it's fully structured. All right, so once you scroll down, all you have to do is now click on secure your IWD discounted slot. Okay, USD. So it is $450 USD. Once you click on that, it's going to bring you to our main staff enrollment center. And what you have to do at this point is simply select how you want to structure your payments. Right? So no matter where you are joining from, you can easily make payments in any currency. So the site picks your geolocation and gives you the currency in your own local currency. So if you're in Canada, you're going to see the equivalence in CAD when you click on the link. If you're in US, you're going to see it in USD. If you're in Nigeria, you're going to see it in NGN. If you're in Ghana, you're going to see it in cedis. If you're in UK, you're going to see it in pounds. If you're in Germany, you're going to see it in euros. So no matter where you are joining from, you're going to see the pricing in your own local currency. And this is the first class that we're having for this. And it is just, so the way we have that $450 discount, $450, 50% discount. Remember, we only have 20 seats per program. Okay, we only have 20 seats per program. And once that 20 seats is filled up, the price goes back to the full amount of $900. Okay, so which means I've clicked on this. Once you've gotten 20 people under data analytics, the price reverses back to $900 for data analysts. So you may want to take the opportunity now for the discount that we have. If you've been following us before now, the program has been going for $900. All right, because you say, oh, we want to discount this and subsidize it for people, please do this at $450. That is why it is currently at $450. So once you click on the link, look for the option that works for you. If you want to pay one off, simply click on one-time payments, or if you want to pay 2 months, 3 monthly payments, and I've clicked on secure my seat. It's now showing me that my first payment is due today. Next payment is due by April 8th, and next one is due by May 8th. Right? All I have to do now is simply click on account, put in my name, email address, my phone number, and simply pay for the product. And that is as simple as that. Simply pay for the product. And once paid for the product, you're going to be redirected to the site where now upload your receipt. Please ensure that you upload receipts. It is very, very crucial. Right? It's very, very crucial. Like I said earlier, this is just for the first 20 people to secure their seats in that program. Once it is off, the price goes back to the full amount, which is $900. I always advise people, for instance, on this call, we have over 200 people, and I can assure you more than 10 slots have been taken right now. Okay, so please, let's make sure that we take advantage of the program to get into this, as it's also fast selling out. I don't know if at this moment there's any question from anyone. Please feel free to use the raise hand icon or type it in the comment section and I will pick it up from there. I'm going to take everyone's question back up now, just a moment also. But in the meantime, do we have any question from anyone before we round up for today? Remember, the discount is not for everyone, all right? And once that slots are easily filled up, the price goes back to the full amount, which means you are going to pay the full amount that you have paid for. Okay, can I switch the cost after paying? Yes, soon can be. I hope I'm pronouncing them correctly. Yes, you can switch after making payments. So once you've made payment, you have 2 weeks for us to be able to, for us, even when the program has started, within 2 weeks, we can decide to change you. All right. Once you come to us that, oh, you want to change, we can switch you. But for people that do not know the program to take yet, what I always advise them to do is secure your spot. And then when you see the link for us to have one-on-one discussion to find the career path for you, you can now book that clarity call. So what it does is that it helps you to put that spot in the bucket first. And then if you've now come to the table for us to discuss, you can now find the career path that easily speaks to you ideally. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, I think there are a couple of questions in the comment section. Let me quickly look at it. Do you have classes beyond April? You cannot enroll right now, already in the middle of a course that is only finishing mid-May. All right, fantastic, Pires. So Pires, we have programs that start every first Saturday of the month. Now, for people that are registering for the April program, you also have the option to defer for 1 month, which means you don't want to start in April, then you want to start in May, which is 10th May. You can also be able to start by that 10th May. But beyond that, at the moment, the ones for June, July, it is not yet selling, right? But if you can secure your April spot, you can easily defer it to May and be able to also get into the classroom at that very moment. I hope that answers your question. It's not giving the option of the course. That's instead. So instead, once you've filled all those, once you've secured your spot and made payments, at the point of uploading your receipt, because you're going to be redirected to a site to upload your receipt, you're going to see the option for you to choose the program you want to go for, whether it is for data analytics or for data science or data engineer or for any of them. All right. So once you're done making payments and then you're trying to upload your receipt, you're now going to see the option for you to choose the program you want to go for. I hope that answers your question instead. Can HR analysts work as a data analyst? Fantastic question, Xiaomi22120. All right, so HR analysts, remember what I said? They are data analysts that have streamlined to people's data. So comfortably as a HR professional with Excel, Power BI, and SQL skill, can comfortably be able to secure roles as a data analyst. I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question, Xiaomi. So quickly, let me bring up my slide 948 so that I can also be able to show us a couple of things that we also need to know. 694765. Okay. I'm a match cohort applying for data analytics, but thinking of changing to data science. Please advise me, Oluwatoyin. So Oluwatoyin, you may want to speak. So I understand your pain points so that we can see. But clearly, you still have the option to also change cohort. So even after you've started, 2 weeks after you've started, you can easily be able to say, oh, I don't want to be in this cohort. I want to change to a different cohort. Or I want to change to a different program rather. And you can easily be able to switch you to a different course. But after 2 weeks, it's now going to have financial implications. Because what we realize is that a lot of people will say, okay, 1 month I'm here. They'll come back, oh, I want to move to this point. After 1 month, I want to move to this point. So that's why we have to put restrictions to it. I hope that answers your question, Oluwatoyin. But because you just started your cohort today, you still have the option to switch and get into a different program. For data engineering role, I see there is no algorithm course. Do you also help with data structures and algorithm in the interview process? Fantastic question, Michael. Yes. So for data engineering, clearly once you land an interview invite, we are going to look at the job description, and that's what's going to now point out where you're going to be prepared for the interview. All right. Remember, all these things that you saw are just key learning areas. For instance, inside SQL, there are different subtopics inside SQL. Inside ETL, there are different subtopics inside it, right? So all those things are also going to be handled. Can I scale up after completion of, let's say, data program again, Kate? So Kate, it requires that you have to do the program again, right? Remember what I said earlier, all our programs are from basic level to advanced level, right? So we treat everyone coming into any of those courses like they do not know anything. So we're going to hold you like a child and teach you like a child. So if you already have data analytics understanding and you want to move to data science, it doesn't mean we are going to now fast track it because of you. There are still people there that do not have that understanding. Right? So clearly we are still going to walk everyone through one step at a time. Elijah, please make my second device a co-host so I can be able to show my screen. Okay? All right. I hope that answers your question. Kate, let me check if there are people that raised their hand so I can be able to call them up. I think I saw somebody that used a raise hand icon, but that is not how to do it. Okay, because I have to now scroll through the entire names here to find you. Okay, I'm scrolling to find you. I hope you are still here. Oh, I can't find you. Please, if you want to mute and speak to us, please feel free to use the raise hand icon so they can come up to the top level, and then I will now call you up to instantly speak to us. Okay. I think the other question from Michaela. I'm starting by April. Hope I'm entitled to 50% discount. So, Michaela, have you already paid or are you looking to pay? All right. So if you are looking to pay now, that is when you are available for the discount. All right. That's when you can easily be able to access the discount. Hope that makes sense to you. So if you're looking to register, that's when you're also going to be able to access the discount. For someone who already has a data analytics experience with SQL, Power BI, and Excel, with verifiable projects and want to build onto business analytics but adding the BA and project management skills, can one start with the BA and project management side from the team verifies one on data analytics? Okay, Precious, I understand what you're asking. So we are going to follow it from that initial point. So the same thing I told Kate, there are people within that program that do not have that understanding that you do. All right, so we're not going to jump the ropes because of you. So what I would advise you to do is that see it as a refresher course, all right? Because there is no knowledge that is actually a waste. The more you work on projects, the more you also add into your portfolio. It's not going to reduce your portfolio, it's adding to it. All right, so see it as a refresher and then continuously keep building up from there, Precious. Right, that's the best thing that you can do, because at any point you want to take any program, there is definitely something in that program that you already know. All right. So it doesn't mean that you are not going to cut it off entirely and then build on the rest. Just see it as a refresher to enable you to also climb the next. What's the fee, please? So Gideon, the full price for our program is $900, but we currently have a 50% discount for everyone registering now because of International Women's Day. We got amazing people that said, oh, because of the amazing work you guys have been doing, we want to help more people to get into the tech space. Please subsidize this and do so and so. And they did this for the first 20 people to join any of those cohorts. Okay, the first 20 people to join any of those cohorts. Elijah, please make my second device a co-host. All right, I think there's a personal question for me. I'm trying to select pay, but the pay by card link did not work. And that's from Deacon. Okay, Deacon, you may want to pay, it should work, because I think there's a lot of payments that have actually been able to come in now, but I'm going to put down your name, Deacon Deborah. So after this, you can also be able to reach out to you and know where the challenges are from, right? We're going to reach out to you and know where the challenges are from. All right, Elijah, please also look at some of this. If I pay 150 now, when would the remaining be due? 30 days after Jide. So it's a 30-day cycle. You pay 150 now, the next 150 should be by April 8th, okay? And then next one should be by May 8th. So it's 30-day cycle. I missed the March cohort and would like to join the April, but can't I still join the March cohort, Deacon? Well, Deacon, we'll have to take this discussion out of here because we may have to speak personally so they can also understand that there's a discount going on for the April guys. And for the March people, they didn't have such privilege. So we may want to have a discussion to entirely understand how we can also be able to assist you with regards to that. I've made payment. What's next? That's from Frank. Frank, fantastic. Now, after payment, we are going to send you welcome kits before the classes start, okay? Make sure that you've uploaded the receipt of your payment, okay? Frank, please confirm that you were redirected to a page for you to upload the receipt of your own payment, because that is also what we are going to be using to also send all those things to you. All right, Elijah, please, I'm trying to share my screen. I'm not able to share my screen. It's not allowing me to host. All right, that's from Nat. Is there an assurance that after the program there will be a job that comes with sponsorship for those in the UK? Nat, fantastic question, but I have one question for you. Is there an assurance that after your degree that you're going to land a job? All right, because that question comes up from the aspect of we are going to do every single thing for you. Like I said earlier, we have 88% success rate. Right, there are 12% of people that did not get to move on. Does it mean we did not give them what we gave to the 88%? The answer is no. Now, we are going to teach you the skill that you need. We're going to teach you the employability skills that you need. We're going to provide you with all those experiences. And we're also going to scrape job boards and give to you. But not the responsibility of applying to job still rests on you. All right. There are instances that someone will apply to one job, they'll get rejection, they tell you, oh, this is not working out. All right. So there's also moments where the no's are going to come. What I've come to realize is that even that 12% of people that do not get to instantly move on, later on, they also got to other greater things after they've been able to go through that program again. Because remember, all the recorded version is available for you to go through. Okay, all the recorded version is available for you to go through it. I've enrolled for the April cohort and I made one payment. Am I still entitled for the 50% discount? David, did you just make payments right now? Or is it you made payments before now? Is it right now that you made payments? But for people that have made payments before now, that wants to also enjoy benefits of the April International Women's Day celebration, right? There is need for you to complete your second payment for you to now have that opportunity, all right? Because your first payment was entirely when the discount was not existing. But for you to lock in the discount, you need to make that second payment to lock it down if you're looking to start in April, right? I hope that answers your question. How many study hours per week? K. So K, we have classes only on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. live class, but the expectation is that within your own personal time, you need to bring out 1 hour per day to also go through some of these things, all right? So you need to be able to, so I can bring out 1 hour, or maybe I can bring out 2 hours in a week to go through it again, all right? So that I can also be able to assimilate every single thing that I've been able to go through. But we can't, the 50% discount, in case I don't understand that, it's showing 650, but we can't the 50% discount. I mean, you saw the link I just used now. Once you get onto it, I see 450, 300, 150. You're going to select the one that you want to pay because you can pay one off, you can pay in 2 installments, and also you can pay in 3 installments. I love to enroll or pay for my brother in another country with my own card. Hope that won't be a problem. Good. Okay, of course, goodness is not a problem. You can pay for someone. The only thing there is that when you are uploading receipts, make sure that you upload. For instance, you paid for your brother and you're uploading the receipts, and then the receipt of what you did. Because if you put your own name, we don't expect to see your brother. Okay, so if you're paying for someone, make sure that you're putting the person's name when you are uploading the receipts. I hope that answers your question. Goodness. And Deacon is actually okay. Oh, sorry to look there. Okay, sorry to look. Okay, I'm going to write that down. To look there low. So Elijah, I think Tolulope is having issues with regards to payment. So we may want to also reach out to her immediately after this call to finalize that. Have missed the March cohort. Yeah, March cohorts have sold already. The pricing for March is entirely different, actually, unless you are looking to get into that exact discussion. So the price for March is different, and their both have sold. The same way we are talking about in April now. When April starts, someone is going to come and say, oh, it's April, I want to join. So once it starts, we always have payments. So please, I hope your next cohort is starting by April. I've paid for myself, so fantastic goodness. I'm sure I will see you. Good. Nat is asking the same question again. Is there an assurance that after the program, there will be a job that comes with sponsorship for those in the UK? So Nat, I believe I've been able to answer that question perfectly. Okay. Please, sir, as for me, I don't know anything about database. Philip, All right, Philip, what will happen is this. If you secure your spot, there's an option for you to choose, I want to speak to an expert when you are uploading your receipts. All right, so what that allows us is to have a discussion with you to find a career path that is suitable for you. Everyone is not going to be a database administrator. Okay, so we're going to look at your background and now find a career path that is perfect for you. But remember, first thing first, secure your spot so that by the time we're done with the discussion, the spots are not going to be easily sold out. Okay, secure your spots and then come into that clarity session and we're going to answer all those things. Can I have your Canada number? Fantastic. All right, so I'm sure our lines are everywhere. Elijah, please confirm that you are on this call. I can't share my second screen. I've been trying to share it. It's not coming up. Please, I can't share my second screen. I need to make it a co-host. Elijah, are you there?
Yeah, give me a minute. Let me do that now.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so on our website, you can easily see our Canadian line, you can see our UK line, and also you can see our Nigerian line. And we are available to have all those discussions. If you want to meet me one-on-one, you may have to come to my house, but that's like I know to do. I mean, when you come to clarity sessions, you're also going to meet me because I'm mostly there with my team, answering any question that we may have. Of course, it's practically impossible for us to answer 200 and something people's question right now. We've been speaking for more than 2 hours, and we need to drink some water. Okay. All right, fantastic. Okay, thank you. All right, so do you have a cushion for students? Can you take some days or weeks off if you have exams? Okay, Martins, remember the program is fully on Saturdays, all right? And it is live classes, so it may be hard for us to cushion it because we're not going to pause the program because you've gone to an exam, because it is a live class. Someone needs to come to class every weekend and teach everyone. Okay, so what we always do is that the sessions are always recorded, that even if you missed anything, you have the recorded version of the class. You can go through it. We have what we call drop-in sessions that also happen every week. Okay, on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. we have drop-in sessions to also revise what happened over the weekend. Okay, for people that missed classes or people that are slow learners. So that is what we do. And also on some Saturdays, when you are not having a live class, we also have like a revision class that happens in the evening time. So this is also to help people to be able to catch up if they missed the session at any point. So these are things that we'll be able to institute to be able to cover for everyone. Second payment went out yesterday. How do I proceed? David, fantastic. That means you've been able to lock down yours. So we're going to have discussion and be able to finalize that, okay? So David, you are on lock. You've already, you're locked because you've already secured yours as fast as possible. If I make payments, can I defer the training month? Yes, Naya, but you can only defer by 1 month. So you can secure your spot, but instead of starting in April, you defer to start in May, okay? Because we don't know what's going to happen in June and so on and so forth. We don't know where Trump or Kemi is going to put all of us. We don't know how the economy is going to be. So that's why we always limit our deferment to just 1 month. Okay, so Naya, you can secure your spot now, but instead of starting by 5th April, you now start by 10th of May, which should be the next cohort. How do I upload my payments receipt? Fantastic. So after making your payments, Naya, Frank, you should have that redirection, instant redirection, taking you to a link that is asking you to upload your receipt. But if you do not get that, check your email. You're also going to get a link asking you to upload your receipt to a certain link, okay? A registered match court, I was informed that I'll be assigned a coordinator to guide me on how to get my onboarding kit. So we will want to take this discussion out of here because match cohorts have already started. Okay, so I will need to know when you registered so that we can also be able to bring you up to speed instantly. Okay, Oluwatoyin, I'm going to write your name down also so that I'll be sure that after this discussion, someone should reach out to you so that I can find out why you were not in today's class. Okay, March, but did not join. Okay, so reach out to Oluwatoyin Stephen to find out the reason. Please, I need an answer. Can I still join the March cohort instead? Like I told you, I've answered this before. match cohort didn't have this exact discount existing. All right, so it is possible for you to go to match cohorts, but it means that you have to make payments that the match guys also made. All right, so they are entirely different cohorts. VCs decide to subsidize and give a 50% discount. The full price of our product is $900. So match people made all those. All right, so match cohorts have already started. All right, and their own payment plan is entirely different. So if you're looking to backdate and also join them, then there has to be some of those concessions that also need to come to play. So what we're talking about fully now is about April that is going to start. It's just as if April is done and by May, someone is coming, oh, I heard you did discount, please bring me in. It is closed, it is closed. All right, so we don't always go back. But if you want to, then you have to make concessions to that. Please, I want to join the match cohort too. Fantastic, everyone wants to join the match cohort, amazing. So I know I just explained how match cohort is because they also have a different plan that they have, okay? How much study time required? How good job, please. Can you send the link once more? Okay, that's from Ricardo. Okay, all right, so instead, I hope after this discussion, I'm going to also see that will have it so make sense to you. All right, so I may not be able to take everyone's question. There is a lot of questions, all right? So in all the WhatsApp groups that we all came through, there is going to be a link sent there for clarity calls. So clarity call is where we'll have one-on-one conversations. We might have like a group of 5, a group of 6, where we all discuss all these things, okay? So right there, we're going to be able to answer your questions a little bit faster, okay? But I am just one man trying to answer questions of 200 people. And I believe we've been able to give a very, very good response to everyone. So thank you, everyone, for listening to us for the last 2 hours, 30 minutes. All right, remember, the best time to get into tech is yesterday. The next best time is today. Make sure you fill the attendance form so that even if you come back later on and tell us story, you can easily be able to validate if you join this session to know if you are worthy of discount, okay? Remember, on this slide, we'll have a lot of success stories. Go through it and hear what others also had to say. Our highest employer of labor is always NHS. And it's because they're always, giving visa sponsorship. And that's simply why our students are always tilted towards NHS. You can see it clearly here. These are all places where our students work. NHS is the highest employer. And all these things on this slide are now success stories that you can also be able to go through to have better understanding of everything and the stories of people before you. But remember, the spot doesn't wait for everyone. Secure your spot now, and then you can have a discussion. Don't wait for us to have a discussion before you can secure a spot, because delay may be too dangerous. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me for the last 2 hours, 30 minutes. It's not easy to have you all here constantly listening to me, all right? So I'm going to see you in the clarity calls, or I'm going to see you in the next cohort. I can't wait to see each and every one of you in any of those sessions. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and do have a wonderful day ahead or a wonderful night, depending on where you are joining us from. Cheers, everyone, and bye for now.